So in today's video, I'm going over some of the more obscure Quest 2 mistakes that newer users make, some of which literally permanently damage the headset as a whole. I know it sounds like clickbait. I know it sounds like I'm trying to get you hooked into the beginning of the video, which is obviously part of what this is. I mean, it's the beginning of the video, but look at this absolute disaster that is the melted charging port issue. We'll be going over that in a second because Jesus Christ, I had no idea there was this many melted charging ports. Like, look at this, man. What is this? So after showing the absolute carnage that is the Oculus Elite strap snapping harder than Mark snaps my spine after talking about this design flaw in my last video, obviously, a lot of you guys that bought the Elite strap want to know if this is preventable in any way possible. So today, I'm going through some of the more obscure Quest 2 mistakes that newer users, like probably many of you guys, make and how to prevent them. Or in best case scenario, reduce the issues that they cause, as well as going over Sony's recent PSVR2 announcement that scares the ever-living fuck out of me. I'll explain why when we get there. Also, if me helping you from preventing complete Quest obliteration is helpful to you at all, like so would be much appreciated. If not, feel free to call me a in the comments down below. So starting with some of these Quest user mistakes. It's only natural for some of these to happen with the influx of new users over the Christmas. Now, I've covered a lot of the more basic ones in previous videos, so the ones I'll be covering today are a little more specific and obscure. If you haven't seen some of my earlier Quest beginner videos, I have a whole playlist for Quest beginner tips that you can check out. Shameless plug, I know, but I'm actually trying to be helpful. Starting with the most frustratingly specific and obnoxiously complicated, this is an issue that the Quest community can't seem to decide on at all: overcharging and undercharging, as batteries are more f***ing complicated than Mark Zuckerberg drinking water while trying not to reveal his lizard identity. A lot of this overcharging conversation was sparked, literally sparked, by some Quest users posting images of melted charging ports. Now, not only is melted plastic like toxic as to breathe in, but having a melted charging port is a pretty scary image, especially for those of you newer Quest users that don't understand why this may happen. Initially, I thought this might have been down to using third-party chargers that are higher wattages than the default Quest 2 charger that comes with the headset, but there's also plenty of images of this happening to even the stock Quest 2 charger. I mean, look at this one. It's literally melted into the side of the headset. Now, I've mentioned overcharging in my past Quest life hacks videos. Since the Quest 2 uses a lithium-ion battery pack, I suggested some basic lithium-ion battery safety tips in that video, which includes shutting off the headset when not in use by holding the power button down until it fully powers off, as well as not letting the headset drain below 20%, as well as not letting the headset continue to charge after you've gotten that full battery green light, both of which put excessive strain on the battery, which is still generally true, but seems to be a bigger point of contention than me and your mom, as the Quest community can't seem to decide on how much of this actually affects the Quest's battery, as the Quest almost definitely has some safeguards in place to prevent excessive degradation of the battery life, judging by these melted port issues, perhaps not very good ones. Virtual Panda has a great in-depth video about this, but eventually ends up at a similar conclusion, which is don't completely drain this thing nor charge it longer than you need to, unless you have a battery pack, in which case, who gives a f***, mate? Though, because literally no one can make up their mind. A person working in tech and repair and studying electronics explains in the comment section of that video that if you're gonna store these sort of batteries long term, i.e. if you aren't planning on using your headset for a while like some madman, you should let them sit at around 50%, and that when the battery isn't being stored and is actually being used, you want to sit between 20 and 80%. See what I mean here? You literally can't win no matter what. So at this point, f*** it, no one seems to know. I personally just put my headset on charge when I get the first battery warning, and I unplug it from charging as soon as the green light turns on, and not for any longer. Fucking batteries, dude. Jesus Christ. It is important to note that this shouldn't happen to begin with. Like, this is something that's definitely Facebook/Oculus/Meta's fault 100%. I'm looking right at you, Marky boy. What the is this? So any users that this has happened to, I wouldn't exactly blame, because even if you do leave your Quest charging overnight, which may be obviously shown by this is not the best idea, this shouldn't happen to begin with at all. I mean, when was the last time you saw this happen to someone's iPhone or someone's iPad? This is something that, although maybe possibly preventable by the user by just being more cautious with when and how they charge, there should be absolutely no point where there's actual burn marks on the side of the headset with a completely mangled and melted port, because this is absolutely ridiculous and Facebook need to do something about this, as there are posts of this from just a couple of months ago now. Facebook need to get their shit together on this. Next up is preventing banning elite strap breakages. Now, if you've watched the previous video, you'll know that unfortunately this is kind of inevitability for a lot of elite strap owners. Facebook said that they have fixed the issue on the production line, but there are still a good chunk of recent reports showing breakages a year after Facebook stated this. So, is there anything that maybe you, if you have an elite strap, can do? No. You're completely fucked. Good luck. Next up is how to set IPD between settings with this cool new life hack. Sorry, I'm just messing with you. Yes, there are a few ways that you can help elongated muskrat your elite strap's life. Very well pointed out by criminally underrated channel Soham Amin. I'm sorry if I completely butchered this guy's name with my tooth British accent in it. He pointed out that a lot of elite straps aren't just breaking at the conventional weak points like the speakers that cause added pressure, but anywhere along the sides of the head strap. He mentions that this may be down to some users pulling back on the head strap like you would with a lot of other head straps that have a bit of a bungee-like system like the index to the default Quest 2 strap, and this may be part of the reason why so many elite head straps are breaking. I feel like a fucking moron for not realizing this sooner. It makes a lot of sense. Now, if you own an elite strap, I'm gonna demonstrate with a much better elite strap made by Kiwi Design that shouldn't break, but the same theory that I'm about to show applies to the elite strap as well. Loosen the head strap completely first like this, then place over your head, bring it down, and then tighten it up. Pretty fucking obvious, isn't it? What you don't want to do, and what Sohan points out in this video, is to not have it loose enough that it fits over your head and just try and yank it over your face like this. That way you're just pulling on the strap, causing excessive strain for no reason. So don't pull back on it, don't put any excessive strain on it, trying to yank this thing over your chunky ass dome. Now, another tip to avoid cracking this or prolonging the life of the elite strap, pointed out by some big brains in the Oculus Quest subreddit, mentioned that indicated by how the head strap is breaking, instead indicates that it isn't designed to support upward strain and instead designed to help downward force. In chimp terms, don't rely on the head strap alone to hold the headset in place. Make sure the top strap is taking most of the weight first and is hanging on your head, and then tighten in the head strap to act as a little extra force to stop the headset from wiggling around. Last case scenario, if this still breaks after all of this, there's only one final solution to fixing this problem. My boy Philip! You know what shouldn't break? Hey, pause to GetHip here. VRWave's VR lenses. VRWave makes tailor-made prescription lenses for the Quest 2, HP, Reverb, G2, and many more, so that users like you don't have to fit your chunky ass eyeglasses into a VR headset and risk scratching your lenses. Even with the Quest 2's glasses spacer, it doesn't quite give enough space to truly fit your glasses in, and if you do, you're that close to scratching those lenses. Being able to have perfect vision in VR without annoyance is truly a gift from the VRWave gods. VRWave's Quest 2 lenses have a magnetic design enabling easy detachment when sharing the headset with friends and family. It also makes these super easy to quickly take off and clean if you fog up your lenses at all. Looking at screens for long periods of time can cause serious eye strain, which can then lead to a host of honestly pretty scary eye health problems later down the line. Look after your eyes by picking up a pair of tailor-made VRWave lenses for your VR headset. They also have anti-blue light and anti-glare filters available for each prescription. Sponsorship aside, VRWave are seriously where it's at when it comes to VR prescription lenses and have been incredibly awesome and kind supporters of this channel since the early days. They have full worldwide shipping at their website www.vrwave.store. Please at least give them a look if you want to negate eye strain in VR. Link in the description down below. Thanks again, VRWave, for the continued support. You guys truly are the real OGs. Okay, back to the video. So PSVR2 is now a thing. Wait, please don't leave yet. I really want to talk about this. January ad revenue crash is happening. I need all the help I can get. GetHip stonks are going. PSVR2 got announced. I'm totally honest. I am very moderately concerned here. Not because of what they just revealed, but the patents that Sony filed for this thing in 2017. First, let's just get the hardware out of the way. There's no reveal of the actual headset. Just a dark image of the controllers. And specs wise, I don't really know how to feel. It's sporting a quote-unquote 4K display. What? Mate, Jim? Bruv. First, this is not 4K. Stop with this. It hurts my feelings. This is a common marketing tactic in the VR industry. They're just combining the pixel count from each eye, which is 2000 by 2040, which is just slightly higher than the Quest 2's. Considering that the Quest 2 doesn't even use the full range of that resolution, as it dynamically drops resolution to increase performance in games, I think this resolution is enough to somewhat future-proof the PSVR 2, so the resolution here seems completely fine. Less fine is the 110 degree FOV. I'm gonna speak from the the nuts here. I am so bored of getting the same ballpark of FOV headset after headset. It's higher than the Quest 2's, which is at 92 degrees, as reported by Kaz and Carrie. Magnificent channel, by the way. Also, very nice people. For reference, the Index has a perceived 120 degree FOV, so the PSVR 2's 110 degree is kind of a letdown for me. I still love the FOV on the Index, don't get me wrong, but it's still not quite enough for me and I think most VR users. I understand that getting a wider FOV on increasingly compact headsets is a really difficult challenge and very f***ing complicated, and I'm nowhere near smart enough to provide a solution, but I really would have hoped for a headset that's going to be tethered to a PS5 now to at least have a wider field of view going forward here. It's an improvement over the original nonetheless, which had a 96 degree FOV. Oh, and also having an OLED display that's also fully capable of HDR is f***ing awesome, and I'm very excited for it. Onto the eye tracking now. It's unclear what else this will be used for outside of just FOV edited rendering and how well this will actually be supported in games, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. Inside out tracking, yeah, it's great. I wouldn't have expected any less in this day and age. The headset feedback that uses a motor to give the impact of movements, explosions, gunfire, etc. seems genuinely really interesting, but if not done right, this could easily come off as super annoying when some toddler is hitting you in the side of the head with a basketball in something like Rec Room. 3D audio is great and is a must-have on all VR headsets nowadays, so I'm excited for that. No wireless support, however. This is something that does concern me a bit. After the amount of playtime I've put into the Quest 2 now, I just can't go back to tethered gameplay. I barely even use my Index anymore. Cable kind of ruins it for me now. It's just pales in comparison to the freedom that you get playing natively on headset. Though as a few people in the VR community have pointed out that are clearly much smarter than me, a wireless add-on unit may well be in the works for the PSVR 2 and might be sold later down the line. So we'll wait and see what happens, but right now, I'm just not too jazzed about the cable. So with the hardware stuff out of the way, what is my main actual core issue here? Most of this hardware is pretty fine and definitely a huge upgrade over the previous headset, but the thing I'm concerned about is something that I've mentioned in the past. Back in 2017, Sony released patents for their future VR devices that would essentially allow them to track how you speak and what gestures you use in order to shadow ban you from certain users. This honestly freaks me the f out. It's just gross. Who defines what is offensive? Giving anyone in Sony such control over something that's so insanely objective and wrapped up in context and subjective from user to user is a total recipe for disaster. Now, just because this is patented doesn't instantly mean that Sony is gonna start doing this, but it's something that Sony is clearly definitely interested in doing at some point, which puts a huge gray cloud over this entire announcement for me. Like, just listen to this excerpt from the Tech Radar article covering this. According to the patent, the system works by identifying possible griefers. If the tracked user exceeds the safety rating threshold, then the system will initiate a shadow ban. If what I just said there upsets you, as it really should, and you don't want this safety rating tracking system to come to fruition or come to other VR headsets in the future, which it inevitably will if this succeeds, you have to make your voices heard. It's astonishing to me that I haven't seen more uproar and frustration about this from the PSVR community. If we just don't do anything here and we comply with this becoming the case, we're sleepwalking into an incredibly dark future for VR as a whole. Though it is important to note, besides these patents, I am on some level excited for the PSVR 2. I obviously think that Sony is going to carry this thing with its exclusives just like they do with the PlayStation. Spider-Man PS4, God of War, Uncharted 4, Ghost of Tsushima are all some of my favorite games of all time. Like, I love these games so much. So I was obviously extremely hyped to see the Horizon Zero Dawn VR game reveal that will be releasing with the PSVR 2. And not to just direct focus on Sony here with these sort of patents, I have had complaints in the past and still do with some of the Quest 2's TOS via Facebook, so no company here is really completely innocent. I want to know what you guys think down below. Genuinely, I read the comments. I want to see some nuanced discussion about this, and if you want this to be heard, a like and sub would be much appreciated. Yeah, that was cheap. I'm sorry, but it's true. That's how engagement works on this platform. Anyway, if you got to this point, thank you for listening to my dumbass talking this long. I really do appreciate it. You keep my watch time high. You keep my YouTube career from sinking faster than my soul after trying to research lithium-ion battery packs for this fucking video. Thank you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye. My Twitch channel, by the way, is closing in on partner. If you want to talk to me live, my Twitch is the place to be. So if you're not already following my Twitch, please do. I'm more desperate than Mark Zuckerberg's skin looking for sunlight. I have a Discord server as well, which just recently hit 5,000 members, which is absolutely insane. I also have a Twitter and an Instagram that I post regularly to, so if you're not already, please go follow it. Check it out. Okay, I'm a player. Load of Quest 2 games. Okay, bye-bye.